There we go.
Yes. Obi Bokke.
Yeah.
Tonga.
Yeah, thanks for standing in for Hansi, who's in the Kruger National Park.
Well,
So
it's my privilege, John. Thank you very much for giving me the opportunity. It's great to be able to talk rugby.
Yeah.
It's a great game this weekend. I think all the rugby this weekend has actually been very competitive in such forms.
yeah. But obviously the main game for us, Tonga, South Africa.
Yeah.
So obviously before we jump into South Africa, which we usually do,
Yeah.
and overdo the chat about South Africa, let's just say what we liked about Tonga. What I liked is I thought that they definitely brought the physicality.
Yeah.
They were good on defense. I thought even though we scored 8 tries, I thought in general they were pretty good.
Yeah.
I thought that if it wasn't for I thought Havili, their fly-off, played pretty well, but those missed kicks, obviously they weren't able to build. You're not able to build a lot of scoreboard pressure if you're going to be missing conversions and that sort of thing.
Yeah, and I think, Johan, just from the get-go, I think Havili's first kickoff was exactly where they wanted it to be. I think they put pressure on us in those first 15 minutes, and I think the intensity, I think, has been the best that I've seen them play this whole World Cup.
This whole World Cup, definitely. Pass your meat there.
Like you said, the physicality in those first 15-20 minutes that put us under so much pressure.
Yeah, it was from the get-go, they were on our line.
Yeah. And I think that definitely gave them some encouragement, and I think the outside backs defended extremely well.
Yes.
I think Feketawa showed once again that he is a physical outside centre, and he's world class, and I think he read our attack very, very well. The number 14 wing, I also thought was very physical in the times that he carried in his defence. But also captain number 3.
Yes.
I mean, a man weighing 150 kgs.
Yeah.
And lasting 62 minutes.
Yeah, we couldn't handle him. Like that try that he scored, he pushed
just
over. Obviously, there was a bit of a mismatch. I think who was defending
it was
there?
Reinach went low and tried his absolute best. But I mean, 150 kgs, 3 meters from the line.
No.
It's almost an unstoppable force. But I think what he also brought to the game is he brought a different dimension. They use him a lot as a ball carrier. And I think the trick play off the line out caught us off guard a little bit, because I think we definitely thought, Maul.
Yeah.
And then when they went blindside, I think he played. I think this is most likely he's going to be his best game of the whole World Cup.
Speaking of their lineouts, I mean, going into this game, I think they had like a lineout percentage win percentage of like 50% or something. So that was definitely improved. I mean, they even stole one of our lineouts.
Yeah, and the replacement locked that game on as well. He definitely brought a different aspect to their lineout. I think that's when they stole a lineout ball from our lineout.
Albeit Marco van Staden threw that one in, but
that's
still,
also something that we also need to talk about.
Something that we need to worry about.
And they still had the confidence to go up. I think there was one uncontested lineout on their line, and I think we got a little bit complacent, and in the next one they actually contested.
Yeah.
And I think we also lost the ball, contest in the air. And
it was at least messy, like scrappy, you know.
Yeah, and I think in the post match they also said, I think what happens now, Jan, and where South Africa and most first tier countries will always have a step up, is we've had 3, 4, 5 weeks of a camp beforehand, and we've had warm up games, and I think they are now in that stage where they are gelling together. They've actually got to know each other. The outside backs seem to have a very good understanding of what's going on and what's not going on.
Yeah.
So I think we hit them probably, I think, at their peak.
It just shows you, though, if they just had more games against tier 1 nations, they'd probably be a force. You know, Tonga only has like 100 and something thousand people. That's their population.
Yes.
So they're just like a superior rugby nation, if you think about it.
And let me say to you, Jan, I think some of those big boys actually showed their skills this time. I don't think it was just about they're just throwing to the big boys and running. I think they had the skills and the clean out. I think first off we gave away a lot of penalties. I think we not lazy, but I think their clean outs were very good in the first half, and they put our ball carriers under extreme amount of pressure. And I think their defense, for me, this game, they obviously did their homework.
Yeah. Anyway, but let's not overdo Tonga now. So considering thinking about the Springboks now, things that we did well. Firstly, One good thing that came out of this game, I thought Pollard
Yeah.
kicking well. He came through the game. I was a little bit worried every time he took the ball up to the line.
Yeah.
I thought yes, those guys are tackling hard there. Let's hope we don't pick up another injury.
Yeah.
Let's see, what is this? What do you
It's a little club steak.
Okay. It's nice and fatty there.
Yeah.
It's going to be a bit of a flame grill.
It's flame.
But anyway, so he came through unscathed. What annoyed me, funny enough, is that Marnie Libok, he came on, kicked like amazingly. Where was that last week?
That first conversion that went.
I was like, where was that last week?
We only needed one of the conversions last week to actually go over to put pressure on them.
And now I think it actually creates a little bit of a conundrum in the coaching minds, because we like in general Marnie's been pretty good. I know the other guys, Hansi and them, disagree with me, but I thought Marnie's been good on attack, and his kicking for the sidelines very good.
Yeah, definitely gets some distance on his kicks.
Gets distance. So now there's obviously that conundrum. If he is getting his kicks over, then do we need Pollard? I don't know. But
I think that's going to be a very debated topic in the next 2 weeks before our quarter-final match, hopefully. Because let's say you start with Libok. Pollard's pushing hard now, and I think after this performance he showed that he can. I mean, his defense on first receiver was amazing. I mean, those big Tongan boys ran, and they ran hard at him. And I don't think there was one tackle that he actually missed with those big guys running on him. And I think that's also a good sign to say that he's not holding back. Yeah. I think it's like you said, I was a bit concerned because every time he's carrying the ball up and took hits, was the body ready? But I think he came out pretty good.
Unscathed.
I think.
Yeah. So that's going to be an interesting debate. Another debate that worries me a little bit is the replacement hooker situation where we have Marco van Staden. We mentioned just now that Marco van Staden actually missed the line out. Whether it was him or the lock, I don't know. But Tonga's not renowned for line outs. So if you're losing line outs against Tonga, it is a little bit of a worry. And we're going to get to this, but we're not calling up Joseph Dweber.
No,
we've called up Lukanya
Yeah.
So that's it. Those are our hookers for the rest of the tournament.
Yeah. I must be honest. I think looking at Dion Free, his line out throws. Yeah, I don't think so much under pressure. I don't think there was 1 5-meter line out that we had to put in. And it's like you said. I think at a stage there wasn't any testing for the line-out ball.
Yeah.
So I think that did make it easy. I think when Marco came up, I think he lost 2, which was also not under great pressure because, I mean, we were leading and they didn't actually have to put guys up in the air.
But that question can also be asked about the goal kicking.
Yeah.
So we it's
big games.
Yeah, it's like, is it? I don't know if it's easy, but it's probably easier to kick for posts, when you're leading by 30 points, as opposed to when you're playing the number 1 team in the world. So we criticize Marnie a lot, but
But Johan, I think to add to that, I think also goal kicking against Tonga. Let's be honest, yes, the crowd got behind Tonga for a little bit, but it wasn't the crowd that he was facing when we were playing against Ireland.
Yeah.
And it's unfortunately not going to be the crowd if we play France in the quarters. I think that is going to have to be a big debate and see is, yes, goal kicking was great in the second half when Marnie came up. Pollard had to start kicking off, and the kicks in the beginning were tough kicks, and I think the crowd were still behind Tonga.
I thought there was a bit of pressure on him because he has to come in immediately and perform. So,
and let's be honest, fighting for his place because every player would like to be in the starting lineup.
Yes,
he had to know that he's coming into this team trying to prove a point.
Yeah. But anyway, the hookers we know now, those are our hookers. Lucanio coming in, which I don't know. Is he actually going to play? Because I mean, he's been off now for how long? Since August or July? No,
beginning middle of August.
August.
Yeah.
When the beginning of August that we
last
played
championship game that we played. So I think that conundrum might play into our favour. I've actually been thinking about it quite a lot today. A lot of people have been
thinking about.
have been talking about the 6-1 split and how unfair it really is and stuff. But if we are starting with Dion, or if Dion is on the bench, that actually gives us a 6-1 split still. Because he acts as the hooker
7-1.
and as a 7-1, and then he acts as a flank. So if we really use him and we see Bongi is playing well and he can actually go the 80, you actually can have a plan where you put him on as the fetcher in the second half as part of the bomb squad, and then you don't have to worry about having two backs on the bench.
And he did do well, I must say. At the
Yeah.
breakdown, he had some steals. He put some pressure on their ball.
And then that's what I'm actually, I think the plan is going to be to have either Pollard on the bench with a reserve scrummy, or have Pollard even go to inside centre,
Yeah.
Dalenda maybe outside centre, and
Yes,
then
we-
having a back on the bench with a scrummy. And with Dion, I think having that dual role, it can actually play into our favour if
Yeah.
we really look at it that way. So
We were doing that before. Like, I remember in 2018, not so much 2019, but definitely 2018, we were bringing on Elton Yankees
yeah,
on that fly off, like, let's say the 60th or the 50th minute, and then Pollard moving to centre. And he did. I remember when we used to watch Varsity Cup, he used to play at centre often. So, we can do that with Pollard. Another worry for me, but I think, and this has been a debate on our channel a little bit, is the Damien Willemse and Willie LaRue debate. I think, and we've taken a lot of flack from some diehard Damien Willemse fans, and I must say they seem to be right. Willie just had a shocker.
Yeah, and I think, Johan, to add to Willie's conundrum, Willie is a fullback which we play in an established backline. Now he's having to think of a scrum off playing on the wing. And I think with Makazolo's injury, Jesse moving in from outside centre to wing, which he has played before, I think also had to play a role in his.
Yeah, what did they do? Was it Kanan? Did Kanan move to wing?
Kanan moved to wing,
and then Jesse.
So it's also not I won't say not an established wing, but a wing that hasn't played enough Springbok rugby yet, I think, to understand the whole defensive concepts.
This thing is going to catch fire.
Yeah, I think it's done already. Eh?
Yeah,
I say nog kan move.
Just hang on.
Okay.
I'm going to put it there to rest. Is that
Yes,
okay?
it has to rest, please.
Okay.
But I think with him having almost been caught in two minds with, does he now back up the wing or does he stay wide? He was caught wanting. And I think catching the ball, Willie. No, Willie caught wanting with the high ball.
Second try.
And the second try where the guy actually got on the outside of him and caught the ball, where he was actually coming in to defend on that wings line.
Yeah.
So it's difficult to say, but I think Willie has maybe played himself out of the team, and I think Damien has now pronounced himself as the number 115.
Just on that, just in the Island game, he was so solid under the high ball, and that was my big worry from before, is that I thought that Willemse, and sometimes you like comparing apples with apples, like a lot of people criticize Willie for his abilities under the high ball, but I used to worry about Damien, and he definitely he proved a point there.
And I think there's also a lot has to do, I think, Johan, with the whole coaching structure and the structure that we have, is that the belief in the guys, and I think there is a belief, and I think they would have worked hard. I think when we look back at Mapimpi, when he first came and became a Springbok, he struggled at the high ball.
Yeah.
And I think
he definitely improved.
They've done a lot of work with Damien, and I think if he's now sorted out the high ball game, I'm pretty sure that he is a solid 15. I think he can run from the back. He can read the game pretty well. Yes, every now and then he's still going to make a few blunders because he hasn't played enough 15 rugby this year, I think, to put him in a position where he won't make mistakes. But all in all, I would be happy if he starts. Happier if he starts than, I think, Willie.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Because there's too many questions after this weekend's game for me.
Yeah, he's erratic.
Yeah.
But we'll chat about the permutations of the Scotland-Ireland game in the next video. But otherwise a good pool stage for the Springboks.
Very good pool stage, and I think a few players have really put their hands up as well in these pool games. I think the boys that are pushing hard. I think we spoke about it. I think Kobus Reinach is really playing some great rugby. I think his defense around the fringes was very good. His speed onto the ball is something that I think a few scrum offs in the world actually have.
Yeah.
And
or very few.
Yeah, and I think his general play for me is good. His kicking out of hand is also very solid. But yeah, are you gonna put him in place of Faf, who's been our first choice scrummy? I don't
think the
see it
question
happening.
isn't you or I. I think Jacques and Rassi, they've got their favourites, and that's it.
And I think the same has to be said, I think, with Dalende and Esterhuizen. I think they know what they've got in Dalende. And I think they understand what his strong points are and what his weak points are. I think Esterhuizen...
And his experience.
Yeah, and his experience in top class. I mean, and he's played a few tough games over the years. I think Esterhuizen is pushing, I think, probably the hardest that he's ever pushed. Because I think he's worked quite hard on his overall game as well. He's not just the battering ram anymore.
Yeah.
I think the offloads that
a
he's got...
bit of offloads, bit of skills.
And behind the players' backs. And I think the big left boot can help in a situation where we are in trouble. But once again, I think Rassi and them know what they have. And I think with missing out of the World Cup, they need a player in the back line who's got experience.
Yeah.
And he's got a cool head. And I think he's going to be the answer for us.
Yeah. Anyway.
Cheers, Johannes.
Cheers. Go Bokke.
Yeah.